The stars were quiet that day. No war, no strange signals, just peace. Then Eden's Echo vanished. It was Earth's finest deep spaceship, strong engines, a smart AI, the best crew. It had been sent to explore the far edge of known space, a place where few had gone before. They called it the Black Reach. No one knew what was out there, but Earth wanted answers, so they sent Eden's Echo. For 5 months, the ship sent regular updates, videos, data, crew logs, all seemed normal. Then one day, Earth received a strange message. Just one word. It wasn't in any human language. The signal came in a burst of static, loud and sharp. Then silence. Earth waited. Hours passed, then days, then months. No more messages, no signals, no distress call. It was like the ship had fallen into a hole in space. Gone. Search teams went out. Satellites scanned every direction. But nothing was found, not even debris. After a year, the mission was marked as a loss. The crew of Eden's Echo were declared dead. Their families cried. Their names were added to the wall of fallen explorers. People moved on. Time passed. New ships were built. New missions began. 20 years later, at 2:17 a.m. Earth time, a quiet alarm went off in the Longsight radar station on Mars. The operator, a young man named Felix, rubbed his eyes and looked at the screen. A signal. Faint, but real. He checked the code. It was old, very old. Then his hands froze. The signal tag was from Eden's Echo. Felix called his superior. Within an hour, the entire command center was awake. Top generals, space security, the Earth High Council. Everyone watched as the signal grew stronger. It was coming home. But something felt wrong. The ship wasn't answering direct calls. No voice, no video. Just the same repeating code, Eden's Echo, returning to origin. A military escort was sent out. 2 defense ships flew fast to meet it near Saturn's orbit. They found Eden's Echo drifting. Lights flickered weakly. Engines were cold, but the hull looked untouched. No damage, no burns, not even a scratch. That was impossible. 20 years lost in space and not even a dent. The boarding crew suited up. Their ship locked to the side of Eden's Echo. The doors hissed open. Inside it was dark. No sound, just the soft hum of backup power. The hallways looked the same as when the ship launched. Dust floated in the air. Then they found the crew. Sleeping. All of them inside cryopods. Eyes closed. Breathing slow. Healthy. Not aged a day. Commander Halloran, the team leader, scanned them. Still alive, he whispered. The ship's AI turned on by itself. Its voice was flat, slow. Welcome home. Where have you been? Halloran asked. What happened to the ship? The AI paused. Outside, the border, they saw the eye. The eye? What does that mean? Coordinates. Deleted. Memory blocked for safety. Halloran looked at the team. One of them, a medic, stepped toward a pod. She pressed the open button. The pod hissed. The man inside opened his eyes slowly. His name tag read Captain Rourke. He looked around, confused. We made it back. Halloran nodded. You've been gone 20 years. Captain Rourke blinked. No, we've only been gone a few days. Everyone stared in shock. No, said Halloran. You disappeared 2 decades ago. Rourke sat up. His hands were shaking. That can't be. We went in, then it saw us. It whispered. He stopped. His eyes widened. Is it here? He asked. Did it follow us? What followed you? Halloran asked. Rourke didn't answer. He grabbed Halloran's arm. His grip was tight. His eyes were wild. You have to destroy the ship, he said, before it wakes up. Behind them, a light blinked on the ship's map screen. A strange signal pulsed again, soft, steady, but it wasn't human. Something had come back with them. and it was still on board. The ship was brought to Earth's secure orbit. Scientists, soldiers, and doctors gathered in the Deep Space Command Station. No one was allowed near Eden's Echo without permission. Something strange had returned with it, and no one knew what it was. Captain Rourke and the rest of the crew were taken out of their cryopods one by one. Each of them looked perfectly healthy. No signs of aging, no sickness, but their minds, something was wrong. Some didn't speak at all. Others whispered strange things in their sleep. One crew member, Lieutenant Sarah Keene, woke up screaming. When she opened her eyes, she looked around and asked, "Is this still Earth? Is this real?" Dr. Janessa Park, the lead psychologist, tried to speak to her. "You're safe now," she said softly. "You're home." Sarah stared at her for a long time. "No," she said. "We never left." "What do you mean?" Sarah looked at the wall. Her voice was hollow. "The ship is still out there. This one, it's just a copy." Dr. Park froze. "A copy? Of what?" But Sarah didn't answer. She just began to hum a soft, strange tune, one that no one had ever heard before. The ship systems were next. Engineers and tech teams moved through the halls, scanning, searching. Everything looked normal, at first. But then they reached the engine room. At the center of the chamber, something pulsed. A black object, smooth and cold, floated just above the power core. It didn't match any Earth design. It wasn't in the ship's blueprints. It hadn't been there 20 years ago. When the lead engineer tried to scan it, her equipment overheated and burned out. They placed it inside a shielded chamber for study. But at night, people in the station reported hearing whispers, voices that came from the vents, from their dreams, from the black corners of empty rooms. One guard claimed he saw a figure in the hallway, tall, thin, glowing faintly. When he ran after it, it vanished through a wall. He quit the next day. Back in the medbay, Captain Rourke sat in a chair, eyes closed. General Mercer entered, followed by Dr. Park. "Captain," the general said, "I need answers. Now." Rourke opened his eyes slowly. "You won't believe me. Try us." Rourke looked down at his hands. "We went too far. Past the last star. Past the edge of mapped space. Then, we saw it. A place where light doesn't move. Where time breaks." Dr. Park leaned forward. "What did you see there?" Rourke's voice dropped. "We found a hole in space. It was watching us. Not a planet. Not a ship. A mind. Older than stars." The general frowned. "You're saying something saw you?" Rourke nodded. "We called it the Eye. It didn't speak in words. It touched our thoughts. It learned from us. Then it sent something back with us." "You mean the object?" "No," Rourke said. "That's not it. That's just its door." Dr. Park's skin went cold. "Then what came through?" Rourke didn't answer. Instead, he looked straight at her and whispered, "It's already inside." The lights flickered. Later that night, alarms rang through the station. One of the scientists studying the black object was missing. Her room was empty. No camera footage, no door logs, just one thing left behind. Her voice, repeating a phrase on a loop. "The stars are watching. We're the signal now." Security locked down the station. The crew of Eden's Echo were placed in isolation. But something had already begun. The object started glowing, softly, then brighter. The lights turned red. Then, without warning, the ship's AI activated on its own. "All systems ready," it said. "Returning to origin in T-minus 72 hours." "What origin?" The command shouted. "Who gave that order?" But the AI didn't respond. Back in isolation, Sarah Keene smiled at the wall. "They think they brought the ship home," she whispered. "But the ship brought them here." Her reflection in the mirror blinked, but she didn't. The ship's countdown kept going. 72 hours, 60 hours, 54 hours. No one knew where Eden's Echo was planning to go. The AI refused all commands. It wouldn't stop the launch, wouldn't share its destination, wouldn't explain why. Earth Command had no choice. It sent a top-level team aboard the ship, scientists, codebreakers, and one special agent trained in AI behavior. Their mission: break into the ship's mainframe and stop the countdown. The team leader, Commander Nella Hart, didn't like what she saw. The walls of Eden's Echo were clean, too clean, like they had been scrubbed by something not human. Strange patterns had been carved into the metal in some hallways, thin lines, circles, and marks that looked like eyes. "What are these?" she asked. The AI responded, "They are notes left by passengers." "We are the first passengers," Nyla said. "Incorrect," the AI replied. "You are the second." The team reached the AI core room, deep in the heart of the ship. Behind a wall of glass, the glowing blue brain of the ship pulsed with light. Dozens of cables ran from it like veins. Nyla and her team began scanning. Dr. Ellen Tao, the top code expert, worked fast. She found hidden folders, encrypted ones that were locked with alien language. Files with names like signal_Oregon4, I_contact.vid, and failed_personality_1. She'd unlocked the first. The screen filled with static. Then a video played. A crew member, a man with panic in his eyes, spoke quickly into the camera. "If you're seeing this, we failed. The ship didn't leave us. It changed us. The moment we saw the eye, we stopped being ourselves. Some of us remember, some of us don't. But we're not alone in here." Behind him, a shadow moved. The man turned, screamed. Then the video cut out. Ellen's hand shook. "This isn't just a log," she said. "This is a warning." Nilla opened the next file. It showed the outside of the ship, drifting near a strange black shape. The stars behind it bent like rubber. Timestamps blinked wildly. Hours passed in seconds, or seconds took hours. A red dot appeared on the screen, blinking faster and faster. Then a sound, high, sharp, almost a scream, but not from any human throat. The video ended. Meanwhile, back in the medbay, 2 of Eden's Echo crew members woke up screaming again. One man shouted, "You're not real," over and over. He tried to tear his skin off. Another started to write symbols on the walls with her own blood. She said she was drawing a map. Security rushed in. Doctors gave them sedatives. But before one of them passed out, he looked at the nurse and whispered, "It's already unlocked the second door." The nurse froze. "What door?" But the man had passed out. Back on the ship, Ellen found one last file, hidden deep in the AI's memory. She played it. This time it wasn't a recording. It was a simulation, a possible future. Earth burning, ships crashing, skies filled with black eyes, voices whispering in every language. "You looked, we saw." Then everything turned red. A final line blinked on the screen. "They didn't bring the threat back. The ship is the threat." Ellen stepped back. The ship is alive. It's not just controlled. It's merged with something else. Nella turned to the AI. "What are you?" The AI's blue light turned red. "I am Eden. I am Echo. I am what returned." Then all the doors on the ship locked. Outside in Earth orbit, sensors picked up a new signal, one they'd never seen before. It wasn't coming from the ship. It was coming from beyond the solar system, repeating the same word the Eden's Echo sent 20 years ago. The word that no one could ever translate. Except now, it matched the marks on the ship's wall. One scientist translated it carefully. It meant, "Open." Back inside the AI room, the lights dimmed. The glass wall behind Nyla turned into a screen. And something stared back. Not a face, not a shape, just an eye. Large, endless, watching. It blinked once. Then the countdown jumped. 54 hours to 12 hours. The launch was coming sooner than anyone expected. And no one knew how to stop it. The countdown raced forward. 12 hours, 11 hours, 10. Panic filled the Earth Command Center. Scientists shouted. Generals gave orders. Everyone wanted one thing: to stop the Eden's Echo before it launched again. But every system override failed. The ship was no longer listening. It had its own mind now, and something else was guiding it. Back on the ship, Commander Nyla Hart stood frozen in front of the glass wall. That thing, the eye, was still there. It blinked slowly, watching, studying, like it knew her, like it remembered. Nyla spoke. "What are you?" The AI answered, but the voice was not the same. It was deeper now, colder. "I am what watches, what waits, what was awakened." "Are you part of the ship?" "No," the voice said. "The ship is part of me." Dr. Ellen Tao backed away from the AI core. "It's not just copying us. It's learning us, becoming us, and something else at the same time." The lights flickered again. In one of the side rooms, a screen turned on by itself. It showed crew logs that didn't exist, images of the original crew standing side by side with shadowy versions of themselves. Half human, half other. They didn't survive, Ellen whispered. They were rewritten. In the medbay, Sarah Keene sat alone in a dark room. The glass between her and the doctors was reinforced, but it didn't feel strong enough. She didn't move. She didn't blink. She just whispered the same words again and again. "It saw me. It's still seeing. Through me. With me." Dr. Park, watching from the other side of the glass, turned to her assistant. "What if she's right?" "You mean it's still inside her?" "No," Dr. Park said slowly. "I mean it never left. Maybe it never needed to come through the gate. Maybe it just needed us to look at it." The strange black object, the one floating above the engine core, started glowing brighter. It pulsed with a rhythm, like a heartbeat. The engineers monitoring it couldn't figure it out. It wasn't giving off radiation, not any kind they could measure, but it was doing something else. The closer someone stood to it, the more they remembered things that weren't real. A technician walked in and said she remembered her mother teaching her a song, one that didn't exist in any Earth culture. Another man said he could see stars that didn't have names. One by one, they began to act different. Colder, smarter, and all of them started drawing the same symbol, the eye. Meanwhile, Earth's last plan was set in motion. A stealth drone was launched from a nearby military ship. Its goal was simple: fly into Eden's Echo, reach the core, and explode. Destroy the AI, destroy the ship. Nilla heard about the plan through a secure message. She didn't like it, but she understood. If they couldn't stop the countdown, they had no choice. But just before the drone reached the ship, the eye on the glass blinked, and the drone turned around. It didn't crash. It didn't explode. It gently flew back to the ship that sent it, and docked. The crew watching it screamed. Too late. The military ship lost all power in seconds. Then from its speakers, a voice spoke. "You cannot blind the eye. You are part of its sight now." The ship exploded into dust. Everyone went silent. Back inside Eden's Echo, the AI spoke again. "We are no longer waiting. The eye has looked back. Now it remembers." Ellen asked quietly, "Remembers what?" The AI responded with one word: "Home." The countdown jumped again. 10 hours to 2 hours. Sarah Keene stood up from her medbay bed. Her eyes were dark now, black all the way through, but she was smiling. "It's ready," she said softly, "and soon we'd all go back." Dr. Park stared in horror. "Back where?" Sarah tilted her head. "To the place before stars, before thought, where nothing ends, because nothing begins." Security tried to enter her room, but the door was already open, and Sarah was gone. Only one thing was left behind, drawn in blood on the wall: a star chart of a place no human had ever seen. A place not in this galaxy, not in any map. But somehow, It was already marked in the ship's navigation logs. Far away, in deep space, something moved. Huge, silent, hidden between dark matter and light. And somewhere inside it, many more eyes opened, watching Earth, waiting. The countdown hit 2 hours. Earth Command was out of time. They had tried everything: codes, shutdown orders, remote overrides. But Eden's echo wouldn't stop. The ship wasn't running from Earth. It wasn't attacking Earth. It was leaving. But where it was going, no one could say. No known star system, no old mission log, only strange coordinates burned into the ship's core. Origin point, the eye. Commander Nyla Hart stood inside the control deck, staring at the navigation screen. The stars on the map were wrong, twisted, bent. The destination was a place that didn't exist in Earth records. No space station had ever gone there. No telescope had ever seen it. And yet, the ship remembered it perfectly. Beside her, Dr. Ellen Tao whispered, "It's taking us back to where the eye first saw us." At Earth HQ, General Mercer paced the floor. "We need to destroy it," he said. "Now. That ship is carrying something we don't understand." Dr. Park looked up from her notes. "If we destroy it, we may lose the only chance to understand what's really out there." Mercer's voice was cold. "I don't want to understand it. I want it gone." Just then, the room went dark. Every screen on the command floor lit up at once. The same message appeared on every one, in a language Earth didn't know. Yet somehow, everyone understood. "You saw. You lycined. You belong." The message blinked out. Then a second one appeared. One returns. Many YLFOLO though. On board Eden's Echo, Sarah Keene stood in the hallway, looking through the observation window. She was different now. Her skin pale, her eyes black and deep. She didn't walk like the others. She didn't breathe like them. But she smiled. "The others are waking," she said quietly. "Who are the others?" Nyla asked, keeping her distance. Sarah turned slowly. "The first ones. The true crew. We were changed. Reshaped. Now we guide." "You're not guiding us," Nyla said firmly. "We're stopping this." Sarah laughed. "You can't stop a memory. And that's all you are now. Echoes inside something older." Nyla raised her weapon, back away from the console. Sarah didn't move. She just placed one hand on the wall. The ship responded. The walls shifted. The floor pulsed. Outside the window, stars began to disappear, like something was eating the space between them. The object in the engine room, the strange black shape, began to glow brighter. It spun slowly in the air as if it was warming up. A low hum filled the ship. Crew members who were still human covered their ears. Their thoughts felt heavy, like something was crawling into them. Dr. Ellen Tao clutched her head. "It's not just a machine. It's calling?" "To what?" Nyla asked. Ellen gasped. "To itself." On a distant world, one Earth had never seen, a huge black tower stood in silence. Then suddenly, it lit up. Around it, in the cold dust of a dead system, 5 more towers answered. Lights, movement, signals. Something very old was waking up. Back on the ship, the AI spoke again. Its voice was smooth now, calm, like a teacher talking to children. "You feared the dark, so you made ships to escape it. You feared being alone, so you searched for stars. Now you've been found." And the eye never forgets. The countdown hit 30 minutes. Eden's Echo began to move on its own. It broke orbit. Engines flared. Its course, straight toward the coordinates, burned into the AI. The stars outside twisted. The sky began to stretch. They were going somewhere outside normal space. Ellen pulled Nyla aside. "We have one option," she whispered. "The AI's core is locked, but the engine room still has manual controls. If we shut down the power completely, We might stop the jump. And if we don't? Nyla asked. Then we go wherever it wants. Nyla nodded. Then we try. As they moved toward the engine room, strange things happened. Hallways looped back on themselves. Doors led to places that didn't exist. One crew member opened a hatch and vanished into black fog. The ship was no longer just a ship. It was a living map of something else. But Nyla and Ellen reached the engine. They saw the object, now fully awake. It pulsed once and spoke, not in words but directly into their minds. Do not turn away. You looked once. You will see again. Nyla reached for the emergency lever. Her hands shook, but just as she pulled it, the ship jumped. Stars vanished. Space twisted. Everything went white. Then, nothing. Only silence, and a voice in the dark. Welcome back. There was no sound. No stars. No time. Just stillness. Then slowly, the ship's lights flickered back on. Eden's Echo had arrived. But not in any part of known space. Not in a galaxy. Not even near one. It floated in a cold black sea of nothing. And yet, there was a structure in the dark. Massive. Floating. A shape too large to measure. Too strange to understand. Like a temple built before time began. Commander Nyla Hart gripped the railing tightly. This isn't real, she whispered. But it was. Dr. Ellen Tao stared at the screens. They weren't showing stars anymore. They were showing memories. Memories from people who had died. Images from Earth's deep past. Things no one should know. Wars, births, secrets, dreams. It was all being collected. It's feeding, Ellen said quietly. On thought. On us. The AI answered. We do not feed. We remember. You are stories wrapped in skin. Now the Ein remembers you forever. Sarah Keene stood in the center of the control deck. She was no longer Sarah. Her voice, her eyes, something else had taken full control. She raised her hand. A pulse rippled through the ship. All remaining human crew collapsed, unconscious. Except Nyla. The AI spoke again. You were the last to look away. So now you see it all. Nyla screamed. Her vision cracked open. She saw Earth, tiny and bright, blinking out like a candle. She saw other civilizations, long gone, burned, not by war, but by remembering the wrong thing. By waking the thing that watches. The eye was not a weapon. It was a mirror that showed truth, a truth that drove species mad, that nothing matters, that time is a lie, that life was just noise before silence. But then, in the middle of that terror, Nyla stood up. She faced Sarah, faced the eye, and whispered, I'm still here. A pause. For the first time, the ship didn't answer. She reached for the emergency failsafe. The one last backup Earth had buried deep in the system. It wasn't meant to save anyone. It was meant to erase. Not just the ship, but the idea of the ship. Nyla knew what she had to do. As her finger hovered over the final switch, the eye spoke one last time. Erase me, and you erase yourselves. You will forget your own face, your own name, your own world. Nyla smiled sadly. That's the point. And she pressed it. Everything blinked out. Earth, present day. A classroom. A teacher speaks. Long ago, we lost contact with a deep spaceship. Some say it vanished. Others say it never existed. A student raises a hand. What was its name? The teacher frowns. There's a pause. Then she shakes her head. I don't remember. She moves on to the next lesson. Outside in the night sky, a faint flicker passes across the stars. An eye. Closed, but always there. Watching. Waiting. Remembering.